Today, I will be telling you about William Carlos Williams' poems. 4 of them. A Red Wheelbarrow. This is just to say, a sort of song and the Fall of Icarus. But before we begin, we should know that William Carlos Williams, his poems, he wrote them during the Great Depression, which, as you know, is a time where food was scarce and everybody was struggling to make ends meet. The Great Depression would influence the central theme of many of his poems, which is no ideas but in things. Our first poem that we have today is A Red Wheelbarrow. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. So let me just draw it out for you. We have our red wheelbarrow. Glazed with rainwater. Beside what? Say it. Beside
the white chickens.
How do you draw a chicken? Okay, so this is the poem. The poem's strength comes from its vivid imagery. While reading the poem, you can almost imagine it like it's a painting.
So like what got him into it?
As I drew over here.
About it? Is his family support?
And by the way,
Like ChatGPT.
notice how the poem is structured like a wheelbarrow, you know?
So like for the grant stuff, like
So the poem opens up with, so much depends upon. This is important.
have you ever baked?
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow. Williams is emphasizing how essential a simple red wheelbarrow can be to society. Wheelbarrows are used for farming. If we didn't have wheelbarrows, our farms would ultimately collapse. However, many people, including myself, would overlook a simple red wheelbarrow as a simple item that doesn't matter. Also, look at the emphasis on the white chickens. Nowadays, we can see chickens as everyday animals. However, during the Great Depression, think about it. You see your homie down the street, he walking with some chickens. You'd want to eat those, okay? You haven't eaten a real meal in days. Those simple white chickens, they would mean a lot, wouldn't they? This is just to say, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me. They were so sweet, so cold. Now, the image that we have here, imagine, we have a fridge. What do fridges look like? Okay, it's like this, you know, right? The handle, and then this is just to say, is a sticky note, telling your lover, telling whoever, okay, that I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox. This is just to say, has a theme of no idea but in things. This is evidenced by, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox. Now, I don't know about you, but eating plums is not a difficult task, you know? It's not this monumental thing that you're doing. You're just eating some plums. But Williams puts heavy emphasis on it as he's asking for forgiveness constantly. And which you were probably saying for breakfast. Forgive me, okay? He's putting emphasis on eating the plums that were in the icebox, even though it's not a difficult task. That is why this represents no ideas, but in things. One may look at these dumb, old, regular plums and think, they're just plums, you know? Why is he being so dramatic about some plums? But we have to remember that this was written during the Great Depression, when having plums would mean a lot. You know, you don't have food, okay? You're eating some beans. So having a plum would be nice. Now we also have to look. So sweet, so cold. If you're asking for forgiveness from someone, right? You're like, I stole your plums. Please forgive me. And then you're saying they were so delicious, so sweet and so cold. This could possibly come off as you're being sarcastic about it, you know? You're not, haha, I know I ate your plums, but they were delicious, you know? That's how that comes off as. So there are two main takeaways from this poem. Is Williams could seriously be asking for forgiveness. I'm sorry, I know I ate your plums, but they were delicious, you know? Like they were amazing. I couldn't help myself. Or he could be asking for forgiveness, but like, you know, I don't really care because like they were delicious and they were so sweet and so cold. This is just to say. And now we have a personal, not favorite of mine. I don't like this poem at all, but you know, a sort of song. Let the snake wait under his weed, and the writing be of words, slow and quick and sharp. To strike, quiet to wait, sleepless. Through metaphor to reconcile, the people and the stones compose. No ideas but in things. Invent. Sacrifice. Sacrifice?
Saxifrage?
Is my flower that splits the rocks. A Sort of Song is a modernist poem, which is a poem that was written in the 20th century and uses free verse and copious amounts of imagery. The poem. Let me just draw for you real quick. Okay, we have a snake. It's a beautiful snake. And he's waiting. How do I change the color? It doesn't even matter. Okay, imagine these are weeds. Okay, and he's waiting in the weeds, getting ready to attack his prey. Now, I don't know why I wrote it, but you know what? Just look. We have a mouse. Boom. This is the prey. And then we have a... Okay. Williams is comparing a snake getting ready to attack its prey to forms of writing. He's saying the writing is slow, quick, and sharp. To strike, quiet to wait. Williams is trying to convey how important and how powerful words can be in our society. Let's look at this sacrifice is my flower. Sacrifici, I don't know, are flowers that in Latin mean rock breaker, okay? So they break through the rocks. He is saying that the sacrifice is his flower that splits through the rock. And the rocks are the barrier. The barrier, which is the rocks. So the rocks are the barrier. This is a metaphor. Between words and our society. That's the earth, you know, that's society. Continents, you know, there's some water, I don't know. And that is A Sort of Song. Now we have our final poem. This is a personal favorite of mine. Landscape with the Fall of Icarus. According to Bruegel, who's an artist, when Icarus fell, it was spring. A farmer was plowing his field. Plowing? The whole pageantry of the year was awake, tingling near. The edge of the sea concerned only with itself. sweating in the sun that melted the wing's wax. Insignificantly off the coast, a splash quite unnoticed. This was Icarus drowning. Now, Landscape with the Fall of Icarus is an ekphrastic poem. I think I'm saying that right. Which is a poem talking about another form of art. Now, Williams uses this poem to show how indifferent people are to the pain and suffering of others. I haven't seen the image in a while. I haven't seen the painting in a while, but let me do my best. Okay. We have a cliffside. We have the farmer plowing his field. We have a city in the back. That's a mountain, but we have a city in the back with a coast. The water concerned with only itself. And then we have a ship. I haven't done this in a while. And then we have Icarus. Poor little Icarus to the side, drowning. Now that is The Fall of Icarus by Google. Now let's look at let's break down the poem. A farmer was plowing his field. He sees Icarus dying, drowning. He's only concerned with his field. Field. Okay, wait. Now keep going.
Okay.
Okay, keep going. Let me get my thoughts.
You want to? Would you like me to pause it?
Nope, don't pause.
Okay.
Okay, this is staying in.
No, it's not.
Really?
Do you want this long pause in here?
I think it'd be kind of funny.
Okay, I'll leave a little bit of it. Bumps your time up.
Okay. So we have the farmer was plowing his field, and the sea concerned only with itself. Even though Icarus is dying, everybody else is concerned with their own little mundane little tasks. You know, they're not worried about who's suffering and what's happening to who else. They're worried about doing their mundane little tasks. You know. I said that twice. That's weird. The final line of the poem states, unsignificantly off the coast, there was a splash quite unnoticed. This was Icarus drowning. And this is also meant to show how little people care about people suffering. A story as monumental and as impactful as the Fall of Icarus, okay? Don't get too close to the sun and all that. People decide to overlook it and continue their mundane tasks in life. And I just want to highlight how even though you may not know what the image is or the drawing or the painting is, due to William Williams' artwork, you can almost exactly tell what the poem or what the drawing looks like. And that is the Fall of Landscape with the Fall of Icarus.